So in today's video, we are going to focus on the third Newton's laws of motion. So we go straight away stating it. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. We are going to look at a few examples. And the first example is sack placed on a table. This sack exerts a force called the weight on the tabletop, and that is the action force. Remember, we said the law states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. At the same time, the tabletop exerts an equal force onto the sack, but in the opposite direction. And this force is what we call the reaction force. Illustration here. So the weight of the sack is W, and so this weight here is being exerted on the top of the table, this one. And in this case, this is our action. At the same time, we are saying the tabletop exerts an equal force on the sack, but in the opposite direction. And this force, we say this force is called the reaction force. Remember, we said the two are equal and opposite. So in that case, action being equal to the negative of the reaction. The negative simply implies that the two are in opposite direction. Remember, forces are vector quantities, and when we are talking about a vector quantity, must have magnitude and the direction. So since these forces are vector quantities and we are saying they are in opposite direction, that is why we see a negative there. So we can continue to the next example. A boy jumping from a boat exerts an action force on the boat, and the boat exerts a reaction force as he jumps to the river bank. So the boat moves backward. So the boat will move instead in this direction as the boy is jumping off to this direction. Another illustration there. So you can see this one is the reaction force. So the boat experiences a reaction force opposite and equal to the action force. We can still have some more examples about that. So we have a swimmer tries to push herself off the wall. Her feet exerts a force to the wall, and in return the wall also exerts another force to her feet, and in return she will instead take this direction. We have to note something. We have been talking about the third law of motion here, and we must pay attention to these 4 points here. Action and reaction are equal and opposite. That one we highlighted already. We are still saying that action and reaction react on different body surfaces. In this example here, you can see that the action force is acting on the wall by the feet of the swimmer. In return, the wall is acting on the feet of the swimmer by a force called the reaction force. So that one has been cleared also. The two forces are in opposite directions. The force F by the feet on the wall is equal to the force by the wall on the feet. Very good. And we must also pay attention to this. When you add this force and this force, the resultant is 0.